Pagan Nightly News with anchor Ed Hubbard and the Pagan Nightly News team.
Welcome to Pagan Nightly News for November 18th, 2022. And today we're going to begin our stories with the Tennessee Senate Bill number 3, in which they're trying to make into law restricting adult cabaret shows in public spaces and in front of where children may be viewing it. It's an interesting piece of law, and it has a very particular purpose. Many people believe, as it is being read, it is one that does not allow for on public property in location where an adult cabaret performance could be viewed by a person who is not an adult, and preempts an ordinance, regulation, restriction, or license which was lawfully adopted and issued by a subdivision, so that even local governments can't stop this if this passed. And that it is a Class A misdemeanor that will turn into a Class E felony, which will take July 1st, 2023. And so that's that point. And so what it is, it's Senate Bill number 3 by Senator Johnson of Tennessee. And it makes it very clear that it is adult cabaret. So many people are trying to make it out it's nudity, which already are restricted under the law. And as Mary Hawk says, this was a very, the leader of Nashville Pagan Pride has just announced that it is very much against the LGBTQ community and would directly affect Nashville Pagan Pride because it would restrict their family-friendly drag show they have every year. That is so much of the delight of people. This would also restrict drag as for the libraries and anywhere else because drag is part of that adult cabaret showing. Very worried about it. In more dramatic news of the coming apocalypse, it is now known that basically Russia launched a fake or a mock nuclear weapon near Kiev. It's been located, found, and it is exactly a mock used for testing nuclear weapon that was launched at that. So that's a little chilling. We will watch that war a little bit. And another exciting thing, though, I think is happening is from the Odisha, New Delhi, and that is the idea that gone are the days of witchcraft was considered to be evil. Rashi Oberia, a Wiccan by belief and practice, is coming with her most compelling book on Wicca titled Wicca, a Magical Journey with Spells and Ritual. And in this book, she in fact doesn't say it. What's interesting, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor will be launching the book in December. He has also written the foreword for the same, in which he opines. Rashmi explains with deft emphasis the good and positive out of Wiccanism. For her, the most spiritual, rewarding outcome of her practice is to heal people completely, both physically and spiritually. It goes on to explain Wicca is a nature-based belief system, and that manifests one wishes and desires without harming anyone. Wiccans are engaged in doing good for all, the community they live in, and world at large. And so it continues on. Rashmi had an inner calling, an inclination to occult studies, and practiced this in childhood. As she grew older, she could predict looking at clouds, tea leaves, and even through her dreams. She goes on to work on that. And what it is and one of the things it comes out to, Rashmi hosted a weekly show on a TV channel on tarot, dreams, and crystals for 4 years. And currently is hosting the weekly show for all sun signs on the digital platform of Z. Odisha, India, congratulations. Thank you, Congressman. And we will continue on our stories. So the next story I want to bring to you is a good news story. And modern witches share the powerful link between makeup and magic. I think that's a great story. And what it is that the inner witch author and also sacred sexuality, Gabriel Hurstick, gave to E! News Entertainment online about a story about magic and makeup. Magic is about power, bending reality. This is true of makeup. And she goes on to how it about enhancing experiences and everything else, and how it is out there and is part of magic is all about power, bending reality, perceiving and being preserved in a certain way. This is true of makeup. Well, let us go ahead and we're going to ask an expert right now. And now we're with an expert in magic and makeup, the Archpriestess Belladonna Laveau, matriarch of the ATC, and someone who has done an amazing job with transforming women's lives. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about, as we've seen in the media, magic and the idea of magic and makeup kind of coinciding?
Well,
Entertainment Weekly just had news, so.
it was an awesome article in Entertainment Weekly. Y'all have to excuse my old dog. She's so much fun. You know, I have always found makeup to be a magical tool. You can transform things with makeup. You change the way things look. You can, you know, with Halloween and stuff like that, we always wear makeup. The witches, goth, you know, vampire, fairies, werewolves, all of that. I mean, there's a look that goes into that, and makeup certainly helps enhance that look. Makeup is a vibe, it's a mood, it's how you create an energy about yourself, how other people see you and relate to you, but also how you feel about yourself. And I think that there's a lot of magic in how you feel about yourself and your surroundings. And when I think about makeup, you know, fashion and makeup, it's treating your body like a work of art. And so a lot goes into grooming and taking care of yourself and loving the vessel. That's very Aphrodite magic, loving what you're experiencing the world in and taking good care of it. I hope that you can't hear all the phones ringing in the background. We're very popular here at the Mother Church. I try my best to silence all my technology. But Aphrodite brings out that self-love, but also such a feeling of worship, because we worship beauty, right? And when you use makeup, you enhance your beauty. And skincare. Skincare is all about taking care of yourself, grooming, fixing your hair in a specific way. It's about creating that energy, that mood, that vibe. And that's all about makeup. And when we have, you know, like when we're in the garden, we don't necessarily need makeup, but makeup allows you to dress professionally, dress up for ritual, dress up like a deity. Hecate's makeup is certainly different from Hera's makeup or Artemis's makeup. One time we had, you know, we do a lot of costuming for the gods in our festivals. And so there's a lot of makeup that goes into that. And some of it is real playful. Like one time we just had Artemis smear dirt on her face and hide in the bushes. And that was a vibe, right? One time I just stuck my fingers in blue paint and raked them down my face and put a horned helmet on to be a Valkyrie. It doesn't always have to be this elaborate thing, but it whatever it is, it creates that mood and that energy and that vibe, and that's magic, right? So anything can be used as a magical tool if you put intent behind it. And I have a student named Raven. She always comes up with these fantastic magical rituals for your skincare and makeup. And she's like, draw your foundation on in runes on your face, or use this incantation when you're washing your face to cleanse your whole body from negativity, or you know, do this particular thing and put it in the moonlight and infuse it with this particular energy. And you know, all of these rituals that go into makeup, it's no different from, you can take a bath or you can take a ritual bath. What's the difference? Well, intent and maybe the products that you're using, right? The smells and the herbs and all of the ingredients that go into it. It's magic. It all depends on how you look at it. I think that the world is filled with magic. And but way back in the day, Ed, when we first got into all of this, there were very little pockets of magic, but now there's magic everywhere you look. And I think if you remember that you can live your life in a magical way by layering on intent, whether it's cleaning your house or grooming or how you dress, how you do your job, it's all magic in layered intent, right? And so I love it. I love how we're discovering all of these new dimensions to our realities that previously we saw as so superficial, and now has more depth and more meaning as we become more aware.
So thank you. I think that's a great thing. And how can they find out more about, I love the idea of incantation thing. How can they find out more about your events, which is coming up? You have Spring Mysteries, which is beautiful, beautiful work. It's a great example of this. And so how can they find out more about and find you guys?
Thank you, Ed. If you want to get more Bella in your life, you can always find me at belladonnalaveau.com, or you can look me up on Facebook. If you search Belladonna Laveau, I'm very easy to find. And if you want to see the pageantry of the gods, we do this amazing ritual weekend. It's 4 days. It starts on Thursday and it ends on Sunday. And it is the restored mysteries of Eleusis, ancient Eleusis. We've been doing it in the Pacific Northwest this is the 37th year, Ed. 37. And we're doing it in a hotel this year so that everybody has their own. We used to do it in a state park, but with the new precautions and the new needs that we have today, getting back in person. We did the last 3 Spring Mysteries online. Getting back in person, we want everybody to have their own accommodations. So we're doing it in a hotel and we're really excited about it. We're going to have so much fun. It's springmysteries.com, Easter weekend, and you really got to come see the gods in the flesh. It's an amazing experience. Life-changing, transformational. Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Ed. Always a pleasure to be here.
Hi, we're back, and our final story of the evening is a great one. We wanted the Orange County Meetup for Pagans, Heathens, and Witches is now meeting up for the 20th anniversary this Saturday. We want to wish them the best, and we have a story, and we have interviewed the founder, Yvonne Conway Williams. Let's get to that tape. And today we're with Yvonne Williams, one of the leading pagans out in our state of California and across the world. She's well known to a lot of our audience, but she is celebrating a very special celebration, and one that we should always recognize. 20 years of a particular type of meetup. Can you tell us a little bit about this meetup that you're doing that's 20 years?
Well, thank you for inviting me. The meetup is the Orange County Pagan, Witches, and Heathens Meetup. We've been meeting monthly for 20 years, and this Saturday we're hosting our celebration. And we're hoping to have a nice turnout from members that have been there since the beginning to some of our new members. But it has become a staple in the Orange County, Southern California pagan community because it's a place for people to meet and network. I keep it strictly as a social kind of gathering.
So I hear from a lot of community members that it's so hard to keep meetings going and everything else. What's the secret of keeping it going for 20 years? That's a very impressive number.
Stubbornness.
That
Just
works.
strictly stubbornness. Like I didn't want, Orange County's a little weird. Southern California in itself is unique in its own ways, but Orange County, when I first started going to Meetup, was pockets of community, but mostly individual groups. We existed. Well, there was a lot of people in Orange County, but they weren't networked in any meaningful way. So when Meetup had begun, and I started going, I decided to start marketing the Meetup group. And I did something really unique in that this is 2002. So I started emailing people through Yahoo, back when they used to have access to Yahoo members that would show their interests and their location. Mm-hmm. And anybody that was local, as well as had an interest in anything remotely pagan oriented, I'd send them a personal email. I sent out hundreds of emails. And the thing that happened is our meetup grew pretty quickly. And in fact, we were the world's largest pagan meetup for 3 years running. So, and that actually caught the attention of the meetup founders. So when they had done an interview, I think it was with the Los Angeles Times, they had been asked, what was the thing that you most surprised you about with Meetup in California? And they said, we're really surprised about the pagan community growing so quickly. So they didn't know that that's what I'd been doing. That's how I got people in. And then we were growing pretty rapidly and going pretty strong with about 40 people in attendance each month.
And so now 20 years later, you're meeting. What do you think are the biggest challenges today to this type of idea meetup?
I think one of the biggest challenges, especially post 2020, is keeping people's interest in actually going out. While people still might want to socialize, a lot of people are still very hesitant to get together in large groups. So it's been a little harder to keep people's interest. And every day we get about 6 new members. So we're growing pretty rapidly. But then they don't necessarily participate. And I'm not sure why they join if they're not going to participate as much. So it's been a slightly different crowd. Before it was people that were desperate to find connection. And now they want to connect, but I think they only want to connect on the internet. So I think it's a little unusual.
Okay. So now you're facing 20 years as a generation. You know, you've gone through, I myself am an Xer now, baby boomers. Now we're seeing a lot of millennials move into more positions of authority, and Z's coming out. Do you find this generational change much difficult, or are you guys keeping up with that? Or
Well, I'm a Gen X, and I'm unusual in the fact that I kind of understand things differently than a lot of folks in my generation, in that I'm good with moving forward with change, and especially with regards to tech. And I'm always fascinated by what new things are coming up and how people are approaching things. And I will say that the difference is that within the community, at least out here, more people are interested in going to the fairs and the festivals, more so than they are in interpersonal connections in smaller groups. And I don't know what that's about, but they're more interested in, here's a shopping event. There are a couple different people that put on events that are just festivals for fairs for shopping. And that's great. I totally think we need that. And I love that there's more and more of those coming out. But they don't replace the ability to interconnect with people on a very personal level. And I'm not certain why they're less interested in doing that, but I also haven't had a chance to sit down and go, hey, how can we adapt to your needs or your interests? And so I might actually consider doing that.
so if people want to contact us and come out and to participate, so what you're saying, one of the things I'm hearing is that this will be a great place if you're looking for a way to connect with people on a more interpersonal level, and to find groups. I think a lot of people, who might be looking for circles, covens, and other such formations, they should come out to this event.
So the thing to understand, there's a meetup everywhere. There's something somewhere. They're worldwide. They're not all run the same.
Mm-hmm.
And their focus and their interest might be different, but I totally recommend people to connect with others using, whether it's Meetup or another form, to get people to get together and spend time together and just network. But out here, it's been very useful getting people to connect with other covens, with teachers, with getting into circles and stuff. And I love that I can give them that outlet or that connection so that they can connect with everybody else that they need to connect with.
So last thing is, if our audience wants to connect with you, how would they do that?
So if they want to connect with me through Meetup, you could go to meetup.com. If they're looking to connect with me, they can find me at mistressprime.com, or pretty much anything that is Mistress Prime. So it's on Facebook, it's official Mistress Prime, and Instagram, it's official Mistress Prime, but on Twitter, it's just Mistress Prime.
So thank you for joining us, and congratulations. 28 years is worthy of note. So thank you
so much.
And thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks.
We're back with Pagan Nightly News for November 18th, 2022, and we will be back this Sunday, November 20th, for the special report on the Transgender Day of Remembrance.